A 4-year-old girl was reported missing from her front yard. At first, it sounded like a terrifying but familiar emergency: a child playing outside, a mother calling 911, police rushing in, helicopters above, search dogs on the ground, and an entire community praying for one thing: that she would be found alive. But then the case changed. Investigators said Ja Harris had not just disappeared. They believed she had already been dead for at least a month before anyone called 911. And the most disturbing part was this: her body had not been found. So how could police say a missing child was dead without finding her? What evidence made them so sure? And what really happened before the night Ja was reported missing? On June 30th, around 8:15 p.m., deputies in Aiken County, South Carolina received a 911 call. The caller reported that 4-year-old Ja Harris was missing. According to the first version of events, Ja had been playing outside near the front yard, close to a chicken coop, when she wandered away. That report immediately triggered a major search. Deputies arrived. Search teams spread out. Canines were brought in. Helicopters and drones were used. The FBI also became involved. More than 200 people joined the effort. Everyone was searching for a living child. The early focus was simple: find Ja quickly before darkness, distance, or weather made the search harder. But behind the public search, investigators were beginning to see problems in the story. The timeline was not adding up. And within days, the case would turn from a missing child emergency into a homicide investigation. The question was no longer only where Ja went. The question became whether she had ever wandered away at all. For the community, the first days were filled with fear and hope. People imagined Ja frightened somewhere nearby. Maybe hiding. Maybe lost. Maybe unable to find her way home. Every possible clue mattered. Search crews looked through nearby land. Air support scanned from above. Dogs followed possible scents. Investigators checked the area around the home. The public believed this was a race against time. But then the tone changed. The search was scaled back. Police began speaking differently. Instead of only talking about a missing child, they began talking about evidence. On July 4th, Sheriff Marty Sawyer gave a heartbreaking update. He said the investigation and evidence led authorities to believe that 4-year-old Ja Harris was deceased. He also said that when the 911 call was made on June 30th, it was already too late to save her. The most shocking detail was that investigators believed Ja had been deceased for at least a month. That meant police no longer believed the June 30th disappearance story. They believed something had happened long before that call. But if Ja had been gone for weeks, why was a missing person report made at all? The most important mystery in this case is the month before June 30th. Police have not publicly released every detail of what they believe happened during that time. But their statement suggests one major point. They believe Ja was already dead before she was reported missing. That changes the entire case. A missing child report normally starts with urgency and uncertainty. But if investigators believe the child had already died weeks earlier, then the 911 call becomes part of the investigation itself. It becomes evidence. The story of Ja wandering from the front yard is now being questioned. Investigators must determine who knew what, when they knew it, and why no one reported her missing earlier. That month is now the key. Where was Ja during that time? Who saw her last? Who was caring for her? Did anyone ask where she was? Were there messages, calls, videos, or witness statements that contradicted the family's report? Every day in that missing month matters. Because the real timeline may reveal what happened to her. And then came the legal challenge that could define the whole case: there was still no body. This case is especially difficult because investigators had not recovered Ja's remains. In a normal homicide investigation, the body can answer critical questions. It can show injuries. It can help determine cause of death. It can provide forensic evidence. It can confirm timing. It can connect suspects to the crime. Without a body, the prosecution faces a much harder road. They may not have an autopsy. They may not have a confirmed cause of death. They may not have physical evidence from remains. That gives the defense room to argue reasonable doubt. However, a body is not always legally required to prove homicide. Prosecutors can still build a case using circumstantial evidence. That evidence could include phone records, text messages, surveillance footage, witness statements, search history, inconsistent timelines, statements made to police, evidence from the home, signs of concealment, changes in behavior. The state must prove that Ja is dead and that criminal conduct caused her death. That is the burden. And without a body, every piece of evidence becomes even more important. Then the case moved from search fields to the courtroom. Ja's parents, Michaela Herring and Jamaria Harris, were arrested. Both were charged with homicide by child abuse. Herring was also charged with filing a false police report. The homicide by child abuse charge is extremely serious. If convicted, it can carry 20 years to life in prison. During the first court appearance, both parents were denied bond at that level of court because of the seriousness of the charge. The judge explained that a circuit court judge would have authority to consider bond later. For now, both remained in custody. The court hearing revealed how serious prosecutors believe the case is. But legally, both parents are presumed innocent unless proven guilty. That is important. At this stage, charges are allegations. The evidence has not yet been fully presented in court. The public only knows part of the investigation. But the charges show that police believe the case is no longer about a missing child. They believe it is about child abuse, death, and a false report. And the false report charge may explain why investigators believe the original story was not true. The false police report charge against Herring is a major part of the case. The original report claimed Ja disappeared from the yard on June 30th. But investigators later said Ja had been dead for at least a month. Those two claims cannot both be true. If police are correct, then the missing child report was not just inaccurate. It may have misled officers, search teams, and the entire community. That is why the false report allegation matters. It suggests investigators believe someone created a story about Ja wandering away. A false missing person report can waste critical resources, but in this case, it may have done something even more serious. It may have delayed the truth. It may have shifted attention away from what happened earlier. It may have made the public search in the wrong direction. Still, police have not revealed all the evidence behind that charge. The investigation remains active. The search continues. Authorities said it is still important to bring Ja home. But the sheriff also warned that the current charges may not be the end. During the public update, authorities said additional charges could be possible. That means investigators may still be gathering evidence. They may be reviewing devices. They may be interviewing witnesses. They may be searching areas of interest. They may be looking for anyone who helped hide information. Possible future charges could depend on what investigators find. If someone helped conceal evidence, obstruction could become an issue. If someone knew what happened and helped afterward, accessory charges could be considered. If new evidence changes the theory of the case, charges could be upgraded or expanded. The search area also appeared to extend beyond Aiken County. That detail matters because it suggests investigators may believe Ja's remains or evidence could be somewhere else. This case is not closed. It is still moving. And one discovery could change everything. A phone record. A witness. A location. A recovered item. A body. Any one of those could reshape the case. But when two parents are charged together, another question always appears: will one blame the other? When two caregivers are charged in a child's death, the legal picture can become complicated. Investigators must determine each person's role. Did both parents know what happened? Was one more involved than the other? Did one make the report? Did one help create the timeline? Did one try to protect the other? Did one hide information? These questions matter because the defense strategies may not be the same. One parent could claim they did not know. One could blame the other. One could argue the state cannot prove who caused the death. Both could argue there is no body and no proven cause of death. That is why prosecutors must be precise. They must show not only that Ja died, but how each defendant is legally responsible. In a case involving a child, emotions are high. But in court, emotion is not enough. The state needs evidence. The defense needs doubt. And the jury, if the case reaches trial, will have to decide whether the evidence proves guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Then another family detail emerged: there was reportedly another child involved. Because this case involves alleged child abuse, the Department of Social Services became involved. When a child is believed to have been harmed, DSS may investigate the home, the parents, and any other children connected to the family. Reports also stated that Herring had given birth to another child. That raises several important questions. Who is caring for that child now? Was DSS already aware of the family? Were there previous concerns? Did anyone notice warning signs? Did relatives, neighbors, or professionals see anything unusual? None of those questions prove guilt. But they are part of the larger investigation. Child abuse cases often involve more than one event. Investigators may look for patterns. They may ask whether Ja had injuries before. Whether anyone saw concerning behavior. Whether there were missed opportunities to intervene. Whether any mandated reporter had contact with the family. This is one of the hardest parts of cases like this. After a child is gone, people begin asking whether something could have been stopped earlier. And then there was the father's interview, given before the arrests. Before the arrests, Jamaria Harris reportedly spoke to a local reporter by phone. He described leaving the home, going to stores, and returning to find police at the house. He said he saw many officers and did not initially know the emergency was at his own home. He also said Herring came to him crying and told him Ja was missing. At the time, his words sounded like the reaction of a shocked parent. But after the arrests, every detail becomes important. Investigators may check whether his timeline matches surveillance footage, phone records, receipts, vehicle movement, and witness statements. They may also compare his public comments with statements given to police. In a case like this, even small inconsistencies can matter. But the most important question remains unanswered. Where is Ja? Police believe she is deceased. Her parents are charged. The search continues. The body has not been found. The evidence has not been fully revealed. And the public still does not know what happened during the month before the 911 call. This case began as a search for a missing child. Now it is a search for truth. A child was reported missing from a front yard. But investigators say she was already gone. Until Ja is found, the story remains incomplete. And until the evidence is tested in court, the final answers remain ahead.